Hi, beautiful souls. Namaste. Welcome. Thank you all for your patience. Those of you that are waiting for me today, welcome. My name is Sadhana. If you're just popping by, I am a tarot reader and doing this deep dive into this amazing tarot deck called the Tyldwick Tarot, created by Lovell many years ago. And we have been walking through and comparing and contrasting cards. And today and next week, I will not be late next week, I will be home. We will be doing some demo readings, and I think I'd like to do that for about 3 weeks. And there are some majors we haven't discussed at length, and not that I'm going to go into it at length, but because I want to get to the readings. But I do want to mention a few other majors, and I put those in the description box below. And then next week we will look at the remainder of the majors. And we have in some way or other discussed all of the cards, which seems amazing to me. And I may have missed a few. That's why I wanted to go back and look at some of these. So welcome to the discussion. It is lovely to have you here. Welcome to Amanda and Clevis and Tamian. Greetings to all you beautiful souls. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. Find my controls. And on the table I have on the left is Fortitude. No, on the right is Fortitude, and on the left is the Wheel of Fortune. And that's where I'm going to begin today. So let's just do that. And then we're going to look at the Hanged Man. And there is something really interesting that's going on with this series of cards, and that has to do with the water element. One of the comments that is made in the PDF is that this is a rather cerebral deck. Hi, Ramon. Welcome. Namaste. And I find it fascinating that we have this water element that connects the Wheel of Fortune to the Fortitude card to the Hanged Man. And I just wanted to talk about that a little bit because I think these are unique to this deck. And I will endeavor when I'm doing readings with this deck to speak to its unique features. And, you know, this is a question I'm going to address. I have been hemming and hawing about a remaking of a live stream. And I have a tremendous appreciative subscriber who is called Tarot is Magic, who has been commenting on so many of my old videos. And one of the ones had to do with intuitive reading and narrative reading and talking about reading styles. And so I'm just going to put the link here just because. Share, copy. So not this week, but next week, Friday, I will be home. And so I'm going to do a live stream on that day. And I'm going to talk about my evolution as a reader. You might want to like this or do what you need to do so that video you can participate in the conversation. But what I want to talk about is my shift as a reader and what I once defined as an intuitive reader is something quite different now, or at least the definition has become somewhat fleshed out. And I'm going to point to a few other videos, comments from other things that I have watched on YouTube. So it's going to be a great conversation. And in addition, I will be doing a tarot tag from the same creator, Tarot is Magic. So it's going to be a long one and a great Friday afternoon or evening, depending on where you are in the world. So why I'm saying this is because the way that I work with tarot and the way that I read tarot, there are fundamentals, right? There's historic stepping stones, shoulders that form and inform what cards represent, what this system is. And this is based on a lot of things. It's based on a lot of years of study. It's based on a love of tarot and a study of as many systems as I have had time in this lifetime to study. And is so much out there that I have not explored. So I am the first one to say that I don't know everything, right? I mean, it's just crazy the amount of stuff out there to learn. Tarot is a never-ending journey. So when I'm working with this deck, I have my background of tarot that sits with me and informs me as a reader from a very novice reader where certain impressions were made with certain decks or certain cards, to deeper studies or things that came through in conversations in some of the classes that I've taught. I mean, the knowledge base is huge. And all of that is very much alive in my computer. And then I go into a deck like this and look at all of this with fresh eyes. And I want to give the creator the benefit of the doubt. I want to explore the words that are written. I want to look into the artwork. I want to allow these cards to speak. And those unique features in this deck are really powerful. There aren't too many decks out there where we move from room to room, from attics to gardens. It's these metaphors are going to really play into the readings. And so what I observed when I was sitting with these three cards, I may as well just put it out here, is this watery connection. And I like that. We're at this place in the major arcana, the 10, 11, 12, 10 being that turning point. And isn't water, right? Water, it flows. It wants to move. And it's water that turns the wheel in this deck. It's a water wheel. And there's just something about the energy of that element that feels powerful. Now, another great deck that I have worked with now, I believe it was in the Cheoda Tarot. So Cheoda Tarot is Eden Gallanter, right? And please, if I get pronouns wrong, I apologize. I don't know if she is a she or she is a they. Eden, in her suit of water, reminds us in the introduction that sometimes water is a puddle, sometimes it's a tsunami, sometimes it's a raindrop. And it's our response to that raindrop or puddle or tsunami that is what the journey of the cups is about. And I really like that description. I'm sorry, I have been sick and I'm trying to get better again, and my voice, I may have to cough here. So that really appeals to my sensibility. And then in the Fortitude card, we also have a fountain. And when I was sitting with this and thinking about it, I was thinking about, sometimes water is one of those elements that presents in different forms. It is, I'm thinking here now, you saying that, Clevis, I'm thinking about when water freezes and what happens when water thaws. Sometimes we have a flood. Sometimes things can be cracked and damaged. I'm thinking about erosion. Water is so powerful. So when I'm looking at this Fortitude card and I'm contemplating a fountain of some sort here, the water maybe flowing out of the lion's mouth, I'm thinking about the Temperance card in the Marielle Tarot. And I'm thinking about how important this balance of elements is. And the other card, as part of the story today, is the Temperance card. So I don't think I have these cards completely dialed in as far as the Tyldwick lingo, how this is all going to work. I mean, it's going to take me some time. I did read with this deck when I first got it, but now that we've been walking through these rooms and having so much fun hanging out in these nooks and crannies, I think there's a lot more that can come through. And I want to allow space for that in my readings. So that's what I want to say here. All right, so in the wheel is the wheel, right? Whether it's seasonal associations, whether we're looking at the 4 fixed signs of the zodiac, things are changing. It's a number 10. Okay, so I can work with that. But I do like that new addition of water for sure. Aloha, Jonathan. Namaste. And okay, so I want to go to the Fortitude card. This is also, there is a bird in this. A bird here. A wren. The wren. Well, as soon as I read that, I thought, wow, okay, wren, British folklore, Wildwood Tarot. Do you know there's a wren? I believe might be the Page of Air. There's also a wren in the Hermit card. And that wren makes a 3rd appearance in another major later on in the wheel. And I'm thinking, okay, this wren, the mighty voice of the wren is as mighty and powerful and strong as the lion. I'm thinking about these multi-element influences in all of these cards, and how, in order to embody change, how, in order to know our witchy wallflower. Hello, sorry, I just need to ask a question. Are you Deanne? I should open my spreadsheet. I don't want to pause right now. Can you just remind me if you are, and if you aren't, what is your name? Sorry, thank you. And if we are to embody fortitude, that it's not just about embracing our fire. It is about balancing the fire. Oh, you're Kim. That's right. You're Kim. Okay. The reason I asked that is I've had some Facebook friend requests lately from people. I'm not quite sure who they are. So thank you, Kim. And just generally speaking, I rarely post on my personal Facebook page, and it's really just for my family. So I don't tend to accept a lot of friend requests for that page. Yeah, just saying. Okay, so regardless of what the card means, what I'm liking here is that there is this elemental balance in the cards. Perhaps when I think of fortitude, I think primarily of fire, but I love these little shifts of energy. Now, I'm also thinking about the roar of the lion, and that the voice, the power of the voice, the lion's voice versus the wren's voice. They serve different purposes, and I can't think what a wren's call sounds like at this time. But I am I'm loving this connection because of it's funny because I did this wonderful reading meditation with a couple yesterday, and I was talking about how in order to find your voice, in order to find your honest, integral, that speaking you, the real you, this energy seems to come from the heart. It perhaps comes from a place of courageousness at the solar plexus, through the heart, and out the mouth. And I'm just kind of reveling, rolling, loving all of these intersections of energy. Super powerful. And then we turn to the Hanged Man, who, if you study Golden Dawn, is maybe a Neptune card. It is also a primordial water card. It's connected to the season we are right now of Pisces. It's a card of deep reflection. It is a card of major keyword throughout time has been sacrifice, and I always remind myself that their word sacred, the root word is sacred, is in there. Now, what's really cool about this card is the emphasis on that halo. Looks like a sun to me. There's real illumination. It's light. It's very positive. The color yellow is traditionally associated with the element of air and swords. We have this beautiful desk. I need to get it up bigger on my computer here so I can see it. Hopefully that way I can describe it. The color is slightly different though than I see. What I see on the computer is way more yellow than the actual card, which I think is gold. We see quite a rustic desk, and upon that desk we have it's not really a toy. It's a I don't actually know the origin or the like the backstory of Newton's cradle, that device where you drop one end in and then the opposite ball goes out, and the idea of the concept of energy and how one movement affects another movement, and eventually they will all beat. All heartbeats will be in the same frequency. This has so many watery connections, and this reminds me of so one of the water cycles that women move through, the menstruation cycle, I guess is water and blood, is one of those Newton's cradle phenomena, where if you are with a bunch of women who happen to be menstruating, and you're with them for 24 hours or sometimes not even that long, it can trigger something in your physical body. And there's something kind of mysterious going on here. I don't know that I've quite put my thumb on it, but let's just be really open to the magic and mystery as it comes off the cards as we practice reading with them. Clevis says, yes, they are different in the display. Okay. Yeah. Hello to Shopaholic. Welcome to my channel. The idea of the Vitruvian man and perfect balance and harmony. Again, we have that awareness of how everything has its place and everything is perfect. There's this natural order to the way things are. Everything will, over time, self-adjust and self-correct and find the common frequency. It just happens. what does this say about this card? Well, another thing it says to me is that if we make space for ourselves, if we take the Hanged Man card as a time of reflection, if we make space and time for our healing, we will heal. We will heal. We will make sense of the conundrum. It's just the way things are. Everything just takes care of itself. Oh, Jonathan, thank you for this. Love these little bits of trivia. Newton's cradle was invented in 1967 by an actor. Wow. Thank you for that. I know it was a popular gimmick to have on one's desk at that long time ago. Okay, so let's just look at the fourth card I pulled out today, which is Temperance. I don't think we've really talked about this card. I'm going to read the description in full and then try to sort of weave the energy of all of this together. Okay. And again, I'm going to zoom in on this picture so I can see the art. And it's not really clear what is in this art. There are several possibilities, and I think that works very well here. When I look at this card, particularly when I'm looking at it on the screen right now, I feel this is a very three-dimensional card, almost as if I were looking through a window to a sort of a biblical scene in the background, something playing out in real life. There's a lot of layers to this card, and it's described in the PDF as follows. The figure of a distant angel dressed in red and blue descending before a rocky landscape with a city in the background. Above it, a nativity scene, and below it, three figures, perhaps winged. This suggests a guardian angel. The figure on the altar is possibly a saint between an angel and a devil, or could be the Baptist, John the Baptist, or Temptation of Christ. And I can really see that when I sort of, because when I'm very seldom am I going to get in full focus ever reading this deck. The light is never perfect, and when I'm doing a reading, I'm not going to be mucking about with a magnifying glass. So I like that it could be many things at the same time. The wearing of red and blue suggests the color of Michael and Raphael. And also remember that the color red and blue is a traditional color of the Temperance card from the Tarot de Marseille. Red and blue. Red, blue for the feminine energy, the receptive energy, and red for the active energy, showing the alchemy, the divine union, the blending, the tempering of energy. And the angels of war of healing, or possibly Gabriel, the messenger. Temperance means, and this is another beef, and I hope I remember to somehow find a way to say this week Friday. When a PDF, or like especially something very short like this, has a definitive sentence that says temperance means blank, I have a hard time with this because I'd rather a deck writer, I don't know. I just want to say, among a myriad of other things, temperance means the need to temper the soul by uniting and understanding opposites. Because it means so many, many things. And that's all. Close your mouth, Sadhana. It is the card of the artist who needs to understand the world within and without, to use discrimination but not prejudice, and combine experience with fresh vision. It is also the card of the messenger, the negotiator, and the peace bringer. And that comes through in the Waite-Smith, the irises. The irises. Right? In the Waite-Smith deck, we have irises when you're looking at the card on the yellow irises on the right low foreground. And that is connected to the god Iris, who is closely connected to Hermes, I believe. So there's so much stuff that's going on. When I look at this and I sort of ignore everything I just read, and I look through that window, I feel this dynamic energy. Like something is, maybe we're looking in the distance at sort of precursor energy to the tower. Maybe this is the scientist, the alchemist in their laboratory playing with tempering of metals. And yet it seems to be surrounded by a lot of divine energy for our evolution, for our greater good. We are learning how to refine who we are and what we're doing here. This middle group of cards is really something. And I hope they come up in a reading today. All right, so what I have planned is written below, and I will copy. Oh, I don't want to do that. I'm going to copy and paste the question and just talk a little bit about my intention for the question and why I chose this question. And what I would love for you to do is to come back and suggest some questions. No, I don't. Sadhana, you're such a techno peasant. For future sample reading exercises that we can do together. Thank you. All right, so I've got what underlies the situation as the theme of the questions. Okay. Now, this is a pretty general question. And if I were doing a Celtic cross, this would be the card that is in the main wheel that's kind of underneath. If I'm doing a portrait spread, this would be the 3 cards down at the bottom. Sometimes we ask this as an independent question. And what do I mean? What do I mean by this? Well, I think there's a lot that can arise in this sort of question, because some of us, dive into other times, other lifetimes, like the journey of one's spirit. Is there an ancestral connection here? Is this something from my past, from my childhood? What's with whatever is in my mind, with whatever I'm moving through, what's its root? What's its root cause? What's it coming from? What's it growing from? I probably said this a little more. No, I didn't write very much. Oh, yes. And then there's this other aspect of this question that says, because it's under, it may not be known or realized. It could also be suppressed as well, too. So this is I think, an important part of journaling and clarifying a question. But what I'm going to do here is to pull 3, maybe 4 examples, 3 card readings, and to see what these cards are giving us. And this is totally random. These are demo readings. And as life has it, you know, some of this may connect to some of you. And please help me with these readings. Okay, so sample reading number 1. What underlies the situation? Okay, so this is the 5 of Staves. Remember this card? We have all these things here. Unique to this deck, we have a shield. So, aloha, Perry. Hi, Perry. Yeah, I remember this card well. Maybe there is a need to protect oneself, defend oneself. And then we have the Page of Coins, which is kind of a serene card. When you look at the Page of Coins, do you see a wood pile on the right? Oh, no, that's a wheelbarrow. There's flowers on the left. Maybe I will zoom out. Oh, I don't want to zoom out because I want you to see as much detail as possible if you don't have the deck. Page of Coins. Okay. A message about money, pages as messengers, a need to protect some information about money. What underlies the situation? Let me know what you're seeing. And then the third card is that this really bizarre 7 of Cups. I feel like, on one hand, I feel like I'm in an opium den. On the other hand, it feels immensely sacred and transforming. So, what underlies the situation? I feel almost in that 7 of Cups that whether we want this information to be revealed or not, it is going to be revealed. All we need to do is to open the door. And I want to provide a little bit of comfort too, in that maybe there was a place and a time for protecting it, whatever it is. I need to reflect on that 7 of Cups. There's something in that card I'm not remembering. I was talking about the peacock and how the peacock looked like a dinosaur. The ornamentalness of it all, and that sort of, when I look in the distance, I feel almost like there may be ruins. Yeah, it's like, so let's make up a story here, you know, like you take like I like Alice in Wonderland. You know, you meet the Hierophant, you take a drag on the pipe, and you walk into this crazy world. What has this got to do? What else we want to say here? What was once fiercely protected is now about to be revealed. And so what is underlying this situation is the need for it to be revealed. Jonathan says, I'm feeling like it's time to put down the shield, take down your walls, and step through the door and let yourself see the choices offered to you by life. Okay, and how you might go about that is another question. It's very practical, sort of putting those three cards together and applying principles of the tarot. So I like that, Jonathan. Far less wandering than I was doing. But I do want to go to the 7 of coins, just see if there's something else here. Oh yes, I did a little bit of reading about Maha Mayuri. So there's also a level of protection with that bodhisattva. And it feels as well too with the door, that door is protecting something. And so let's expand on Jonathan's description and just say we have in each of these cards, there is a level of protection. So let's pause and contemplate that. Why? Maybe you don't need to know why the shield was up, but it feels like it's ready. The air is ready to be cleared, and your movement forward, your movement through will definitely require some action. 5 of Staves requires some energy on your part. And maybe that is a heavy door. Maybe you will need to whack some of those weeds out of there and move that wheelbarrow out of the way and oil some rusty hinges. And you may not have wanted to do that. Okay, so something like that. Let's try another one. Okay. I also wanted to, ooh, that's interesting, Perry. The shield looks like a dog collar. I think with this deck, it's very easy to not be mundane, even though we are in a house full of things. And I want to also be mindful that sometimes the answer is quite a straightforward one. It's fun, isn't it, Jonathan? Yeah. I like working with you too. Together. All right, here we go. All right, example number 2. And again, the question is, what underlies the situation? All right, so the first card is the Ace of Cups. And I said in this card, that compass, maybe it's not a compass, I don't know what it is. The compass rose behind the cup. To me, it feels so significant in that I want to say, you know, follow your true north emotionally. Emotionally follow your true north. It's precise. It's very, the way it's positioned, it's centered so beautifully. We have fortitude. So remember what I was saying about the flow of water and fortitude and the combination of elements, the powerful voice of the wren, the roar of the lion. Also notice both of these cards, there's a lot of haziness in both of the cards. And then the third card is the chop wood carry water card, 10 of staves. At least that's what I call this card, the 10 of staves. Okay, so what underlies the situation? Well, front and center is the Ace of Cups. And the way that I work, that first card speaks volumes. It is an ace. We do have a major, and then we also have a 10. So we have a 1 and a 10. We have an 11. And if you were here last week, I was talking, oh gosh, now I don't know what video it was. Maybe it was in the Marseille series. But 11 is also a 1. The second number is a 1. And when we're working with older systems of tarot, fortitude is one of the cards that is compared with ones. So what we, on some level, are looking at here is a 1-1-1. A 1-1-1. I feel like there's something here to be seen through to the finish line. But the question was, what lies underneath this? Let's answer the question. What lies underneath? Is it a fear? Is it an emotional fear to see something through? Or is there a sense of doubt about whether the change really is? I'm looking at that power of that lion, and I feel like that lion is saying, you need to feel this. This change is real. And when I go back to the question, I think, okay, maybe you've been denying change. Let's go to Jonathan's comment. The emotional strength allows the person to carry more weight than they should be shouldering. The emotional strength allows the person to carry more weight than they should be shouldering, like they're carrying other people's emotional weight. Okay, that's a different direction, right? I need to digest this because maybe it's not so different. So the weight of the situation, like you are really strong. Undoubtedly, the querent is really strong here. Both the fortitude card and the 10 of staves show immense fortitude, endurance, ability to see things through. But I think the question is why? Why are you? And then we got the one thing. That's why I'm saying something here's got to give. Something here's got to give. And so I think it's really important that you tap into your emotional body to understand, and then go to Jonathan's words, why you are currently behaving the way you're behaving. What underlies your current actions? Now, chop wood, carry water is not a bad thing. And the 10 of staves is not a bad thing. Sometimes we need to see things through, but we need to know the capacity of our fortitude, right? The weight of the situation. This doesn't have to be both just Jonathan and me. You can jump in here at any time. I really appreciate all of you. The weight of the situation brings on emotional strength unknown before this current situation. Okay, yes. And of course, any part of all of this, knowing the person and knowing the present situation, is going to make more sense. And there are different approaches to tackling this, right? And let's go to Perry's comment. Beginning, one, is not feeling right now, as it is very uncertain about the issues involved. And honestly, when I look at that Ace of Cups and I look at that lion face, I'm thinking, wow, like this is big heart center. This is courageous stuff. So don't doubt how courageous you are. Don't doubt your ability. So there's that bit as well. Okay, let's do one more. And what I would like you to think about, if you have any brilliant ideas, please don't put it into the chat, because I won't have time to come back and review the chat. I'll need you to just wait a few minutes after we're done and put it in the comments. But this is a deck of doors and windows and attics and basements and secret corners and all of that. What do you think are the best kinds of questions that serve this deck? Sample reading number 3. What underlies the situation? So here I'm thinking, okay, the reason I liked this sort of question was like, what's in the basement? What's behind the closed doors? Okay. Ooh, we talked about this card last week, didn't we? Blood. Blood. Darkness. Caverns. And here in this card, the fountain is dry. The Hermit. Here's the lantern. Here's the Hermit. The Hermit's walking towards us through a deep cavern. What underlies the situation? Ooh, I like this card. 10 of Cups. So all of the items in this card are behind closed doors. 10. It's a 10. This is a 9. And then we have Judgment. We have double 10. Ooh, I like that. Okay, now this card, there's so many little things in this card. We'll talk about this card next week. But let's keep it simple, okay? So Judgment is a double 10. This is a 10. This is a 9. Judgment has some similar sort of evolving portal crossing energy like the Hermit has the potential to have. It feels almost, it's much further on in the journey. 10 of Cups, so this is saturation or fulfillment of the energy, but why are all these items locked behind closed doors? Okay, so now the question is, what underlies the situation? What underlies the situation? A need for self-discovery. A need for self-discovery. I need to allow that self-discovery. That this stage of your life, this situation that you find yourself in, while it may have many positive qualities, is the end. It's the end. You may find yourself going forward alone and lonely. So what underlies this situation? Again, we have sort of this energy of change. You are destined to walk alone, my child. There is something you need to explore on your own. And I wanna ask, why all those beautiful objects haven't been in use? They're all closed up, you know? There's a card like this in the Slow Tarot. There's a card kind of like this in the Numinous Tarot. It's a powerful image. Proceed with care and respect for the environment in which you have to pass through. With gentleness and delicate methods, being kind to yourself, knowing that these major changes can physically, mentally, emotionally, you're going to feel this at many levels. And isn't it interesting with this particular question, what underlies the situation is that the Hermit is under. The Hermit is under. The Hermit is underground. The Hermit is in the cave. Is the Hermit ready to come to the surface? It's like I see the Hermit is under the ground, and then the Judgment card is this transformation that you make. Is this on a more mundane level kind of like a coming out of the closet reading? It's time to come out of the closet. What do you think about that? Okay, let's go to Jonathan. The answers are to be found within. maybe the hermit is going to venture here and open these doors and look at each of these cups, or find one, like a genie in a bottle, and the hermit is going to venture into that bottle and go on his own little adventure. The answers are to be found within. No one else has the answers. They lie within, waiting to be discovered. And I feel like there's a message here. It's time. This is wanting to come to the surface. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for your contributions. It's great. Next week, we'll do something similar. I have posted another question, and we'll look at the star and judgment and world as well. Okay. So I will see you next Wednesday, many of you. And until then, take good care of yourselves, and namaste. Thank you all. Thanks, Jonathan. Bye, Amanda.